Howdy. So this is a follow-up to the video I did on DEXA. I mentioned there that I had another video I was going to do about doctors, and how they were lying to me. And that will tie into basically the other videos that I've been doing, for instance, my neighbors, the doctors, and also, maybe why DEXA was so wrong about me. I could say that, truth is probably the rarest, most expensive thing out there. It's hard to find. And so this is something that took me about 50 years to figure out. So it was pretty tough. And maybe it'll help you understand a little bit more about what's actually going on. I can make it through here. Yes. A little dangerous intersection here. So I'm actually headed to the store. I'm out of, basically I need to get some glycine and a magnesium complex that I'm running out of. And so I'm heading on down to Rainbow Grocery down here. So it's a nice day here in the city. And just might as well do both at the same time, the video as well as go to the store. I was going to do it at home, but it was just too noisy. So this is pretty noisy too, but at least I can get some work done, something done. So to start off, you probably wonder, how my weight was so low. And you probably think, oh, it's genetics, right? Or I starved myself, through willpower or something like that. No, I did say I did a restricted calorie diet, but I didn't tell you why. So first thing to start off, to do something like that, so I was hospitalized twice. Once when I was 2, and again when I was 3 years old. So this is a long time ago. I'm talking about like 1967. And I almost died. It was aspirin poisoning, and I was in a coma. I was in the hospital for a month, not a month, a week. I don't know how long. The story keeps changing, but it was a long time. And ever since then, I was just never able to eat like a normal person ever again. But that was just a minor thing to start things off. So by the time I was 5, I was already, well underweight. I have my medical records from that time. And so the doctors knew what was going on. And, they did nothing. So by the time I was 5, I apparently was hospitalized again. And this time for something even worse. And so I was apparently hit by a car and then suffered brain damage and, a lot more, which I'll get into. And see, the doctors knew what happened because I had, my medical records from the time I was 4 and a half. And they all just told me I was born that way. They never actually helped me with any of the issues that I have. And basically said I was, a worthless person. These are the doctors. And this is a lot of doctors now. So I, went through just a lot of doctors, even after I figured things out. And they now tell me that it was my mother that did this to me. But my mother wasn't a professional surgeon or, professional torturer. But the doctors were, and they knew. And what happened, how I figured this out, was basically bicycle racing. Because in racing, first I shaved my legs and my arms and then my head. And I was able to find all the scars. I mean, lots and lots of scars. And realized after a while, it took me a while to realize it, that they're all hidden very well. You know, under the hairline. And I don't know if you can see my nose, but you can tell my face isn't really normal. And I mean, I didn't notice all the scars until just a few years ago. That's when I'm 60 now, I'll be 61 in a month. So it took a long, long time for me to figure this all out. And because it was me against the entire world. So what I ended up doing as a child was I kept an open mind. I knew something was up, but I had so many issues that, you know, it's not really possible as a child to, you know, sort of figure this all out. I just ran red. They're stopping, okay. But I did realize something was up. I felt, you know, I knew. And so actually I had to run away from home and all the doctors. And I became an emancipated minor at a pretty early age. And then leased wild here in San Francisco, again with no help, no explanation of what was going on with me. But everybody knew. I say, I was the only one that didn't know. And so I was, you know, that's why I didn't eat. And also how I was able to recover was basically through cycling. I was in pain half my life until I was over 30. I mean, really excruciating pain. My shoulders and my legs. So I can't run right now. I mean, I could run, it's just too painful afterwards. So it wasn't genetics. And I guess the worst part was actually the lying, you know, of the doctors. Because that's sort of tough to deal with. I mean, at first. Because it's not something you want to, you know, believe, you know, that the doctors are all just lying to you. And now I know that I can never ever go to a doctor. Because I've tried. I'll post a link to one of my previous videos of where I actually, of my last doctor visit. And you can see that I'm not making this up. There's no way that they're ever going to help me. So I'm on my own. That's why I had to do everything myself. It wasn't easy. Not easy at all. Every day out here is dangerous. So I just wanted you to know. And also DEXA could be, so they have never seen me before, you know, a person like me. That's certainly possible. Hopefully they haven't seen too many people like me, at least ones that have survived like I did. And so that could be wrong. But also, I don't know if how old you are, but when I was going to school downtown San Francisco in the 80s, 1980s, there was this scam going around as you walk downtown, you know, Stockton Street. They would, there's always these people that would give you free psychological evaluations. You know, come in, get a psychological evaluation. But really, it was just all a scam, because they would give you the psychological evaluation just to get you into their cult. Of course, I didn't go into the cult. But, you know, DEXA could be something like that. I don't know. Because they also have, you know, a plan, you know, to get you to lose weight, that type of thing, to get more fit. So is that tied in? I don't know. But I certainly know they haven't seen anybody like me before. So it could be that their scanning just isn't calibrated correctly. Don't know. But it's definitely wrong. And so I just wanted you to know what that is. And, you know, give you some ideas, you know, because the doctors are still lying to me and will always lie to me. because they're never going to admit what they did. Most of my records were destroyed, and that's just, you know. They also, I believe, made it look like, you know, that I'm just too unstable or dangerous, you know, to give me the records. And so they were able to probably convince somebody, you know, say, oh no, we can't give him his records, he'll just be violent or something. So I'm sure you can understand why somebody would be a little upset once they figure this out. But I'm not upset, really. I'm glad, you know, I was finally able to get to the truth, at least as far as I know it. And the way they really messed up was the scars. They're too well done and too well hidden. So they were done professionally. And my mother wasn't a professional back then. She was just becoming a nurse at Kaiser Hospital in Redwood City. That's where she worked at the time this all happened. And the doctors were all horrid. From every memory I had, and some of my memories actually are coming back prior to the accident. So when I was 4 and 3, but not too much. It's been a long time, but you never know. I'm getting better and better, actually, as I get older. So that's always, it's always hope that you'll be able to figure stuff out and move beyond it. Never know. Well, almost at the store. I think everything else I'll let you. And one other thing was my high VO2 max is sort of interesting. So I don't know if you can see how long my arms are. But my father was over 6 feet tall. My brother is taller than me. And really, I probably should have been over 6 feet tall, you know, based on my arm length. My father doesn't have long arms like I do. Run on through, babe. Run on through. So that's probably why my body was totally stunted from what happened to me as a child. But my organs apparently were not. Like my heart and my lungs, I exercised those at an early age, trying to, you know, I was actually just, you know, taking off, going on bike rides, long bike rides, ever since I was a young child. Not strenuous. I wasn't into bike racing or anything, but I kept myself moving forward, and that's probably why my VO2 max is higher than normal. It's just that my heart and lungs were designed for somebody much bigger. Lucky me, huh? So